Hey everybody, this is Wintermute up with Japan turn number 17. So first off, tech rolls. We're going to roll for radar, which we do not get. And then we are also going to roll for jet fighters, which we also do not get. All right, well that's that. For builds, we are going to finish the heavy battleship. We are going to finish the fortification in Nanking, 2 fighters, 2 militia upgrades, a militia, and then 4 infantry. And for combat moves, we're going to have the rating there like we normally do, which I forgot last turn. Oh, before I go any further, one thing I forgot is, so when Hambone went into Sydney and he did a shore bombardment, he had forgotten that, well, he didn't know, and the rule's kind of buried in there, that when you're bombarding an area with a fortification, you don't get, or you get a -1 to your shore bombardments. So we're going to go ahead. We talked about it a little bit, and I was okay just kind of saying, yeah, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Just move on. But, you know, he offered to go ahead and let me roll twice over to see if I get any hits. And all they're really going to do is take out infantry at this point. So we're going to roll a 5 and then a 3 because of how he kind of suspected it would work out. So a 5 for the first round was a miss, and then the 3. Okay, so that one's a hit. So he'll have 1 less infantry in Sydney. And at this point in the game, that could be crucial in what it boils down to America being able to do down in that theater. So, actual combat moves. We're going to walk 1 guy from Burma up into Bengal and take that for Japan. That's going to be a walk-in. And then down here, we are going to have, let's see, this destroyer is going to pick up a Marine. 1 transport is going to pick up 2 infantry. And they're all staying in the same sea zone, but they're going to drop off here into Sumatra. Or no, I'm sorry, they weren't. They were up here in this northern sea zone. So we are going to swap that out for that chip. So they're going to come down 1. And then they are going to have, I'm going to have these 2 fighters, whoops, come out of Siam and go in to support that fight against that airborne. So we're going to retake Sumatra. That is it as far as the actual combats that I have. So Bengal's a walk-in. We'll go ahead and roll for the coastal subs. Now this round he has, what does he have? Britain got, I believe it was, yeah, they don't even get radar. They got anti-submarine warfare. So it's going to be straight up, and then I've got to try and sink them if after I roll these. So first one to roll, that's equal up, so nothing happens. And then the next one, also nothing. And then he's going to have, we'll roll for the one in I-7 first. That's a 1. That's a dead coastal sub. And then the one in I-12. That one misses, fortunately. All things considered, they've done their job this game pretty well. So, all right. And then we have Sumatra. So we're just going to go ahead and start. It's a pretty straight up fight. So I'm going to roll my 2 fighters first. That's 1 hit. And then just for argument's sake, we're going to roll the Marine. Now Sumatra does not, yeah, it doesn't look like it's mountainous. I think most islands are mountainous except for that one. So it's going to be 3 2s. So 3 hits total against his 1 airborne. And does he score a hit back? He does. Man, I am really bleeding on the defensive rolls this game. So I have to take a Marine, but I do take Sumatra back with 2 infantry there. And then these fighters are just going to land back in Siam. Real simple. All right, and then for non-com, we're going to kind of start out here. We're going to move from P56 and P55. These guys are going to fall back to P46 at the Caroline Islands. P54 is going to fall back to P44 and join the main fleet. From P53, these 2 subs are going to do the exact same thing. Let me think for a second. You know what? No, I'm going to have 1 sub actually come down to P64. Because they could come over there, and then, yeah, right. And then I'm going to have 1 actually go to P53. And so ultimately I'm going to end up with 3 subs in P46, 1 sub in P53, 1 sub in P64, and then 1 of those subs goes back to P44. Oh, right. I had forgotten that. Let me rethink that for a second. You know what? Nah, that's fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's okay. And then this bomber from New Guinea is going to land back on Palau. This transport from New Britain is going to pick up these 2 infantry in New Guinea. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3, end in P41 and drop off 2 infantry in Hong Kong. And then he is going to, we're going to say he goes into port. All right. Oops. Oh, that Marine was, oh, no, I know where he came from. Okay. He was, he shouldn't be there. Okay, then we are going to, they're going to stay put. They're going to stay put. Then in P41, we're going to pick up these 2 infantry and drop them off in Hong Kong using one of the transports that was already there. And then he is going to, he's going to go into port as well. Okay, then from P41, I've got another transport that hasn't done anything yet. So he's going to go 1, 2, go to P15, pick up 2 infantry, and then slide back into P32, drop those infantry off in Nanking. And then there was already a transport there, so he's going to just slide over to P15 and go back, and he's going to drop off 2 infantry in, another 2 infantry in Nanking. And then they are both going to go into port as well. And we're going to have this destroyer from P15 come down to P50. Just do a quick look here. Yep, so all of my transports did stuff. All right. That should be it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. There is one other thing I want to do. I had one regular sub in P44. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and he's going to end his movement in I-12. Or no, I'm sorry, 4. He's going to end his movement over here in I-7 because he does have a sub base coming from P44. So he can go 1, let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, from the sub base he can make it there. So that'll still keep up the, yeah, and I hadn't expected to lose that coastal sub, so yeah. All right, he gets that dollar this turn. Nothing I can do about it at this point. 1, 2. Oh, I could have done that too. Oh well. So that is it as far as my movements go. So what we're gonna do now. Yep. So these two fighters are going to go into Tokyo. This fortification gets built in Nanking. This heavy battleship is going to get built in Kyushu, in port at Nagasaki. Then we're going to build one militia. Give me 1 second. Where did I want? Oh, right, yeah. One militia is going to get built in Nanking, and then one militia upgrade goes into Hong Kong. So effectively, it gets another infantry, and then the same thing is going to happen down in British Malaya. So they effectively get an infantry put there on top of that stuff. And then these 4 infantry that I'm building here, one is going to go into, actually 2 of them are going to go into Siam, and then 2 of them are going to go into Kyushu. And that should cover me. So I got, all right, so that means I'm going to collect a total of $49 as Japan. And then I will turn it over here. I'll do a quick unit recap, just to keep everything up to date. But if you're done watching, you can go and skip on to the next video. So, all right, guys. I have one regular sub in I-7, one coastal sub in I-12. In P-50, I have 2 destroyers and a troop transport. In P-41, I have 1 destroyer, 2 transports in port at Hong Kong. Let me double check something. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and not put them in port. We're going to leave them out in the China Sea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm okay with that. We're going to leave them out in the China Sea. Then up in Nanking, sorry, let me go on with the fleets. I've got 2 troop transports in port in P-32 at Nanking. I have 1 heavy battleship in port in Kyushu. I have 1 sub at P-7. I have 1 sub at P-53, 1 sub at P-64, 3 subs in P-46. And then the big fleet, the big fleet is 4 light carriers, 2 fleet carriers, 1 heavy carrier. I have a total of 5 fighters, 3 dive bombers on that. And then the ships are 1 sub, 2 torpedo boat destroyers, 1, 2, 3, 5 destroyers, 2 light cruisers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy cruisers, 1 battle cruiser, and 2 battleships. Now I'm going to go over the land units. 1 guy in Bengal. In Burma, I have 6 artillery. I have 5, 6, 7. 7 infantry and a militia. In Anam Tonkin, I have 4 Marines and a militia. I've got 1 militia in Cochinchina. In Siam, I have 2 infantry, 1 flat gun, 1 militia. I'm sorry, 3 infantry, 1 flat gun, 1 militia. And then 2 fighters. In British Malay, I have 2 infantry and 2 militia and an infantry. In Sumatra, I have 2 infantry. In Hong Kong, I have 5 infantry and a militia. In Nanking, I have 7 infantry, 2 militia, and 4 cavalry. I'll clean this up in a bit. And then we placed the fortification there. All right, in Kyushu, I have 3 infantry. In Tokyo, I have 2 fighters, 3 infantry, 2 mountain. In Honshu, I have 2 infantry and a militia. In Hokkaido, I've got an infantry. In Borneo, I have a seaplane. Java has a militia. Palau has a medium bomber and a militia. Philippines has a militia. Caroline Islands has 1 militia and 2 infantry. Iwo Jima has a militia. Bonin has a militia. Marshall Islands has a militia. Solomon Islands has a militia. New Britain has a militia. New Guinea has a militia. I believe I said Java has a militia. Queensland has a militia. And the South Island in New Zealand has a militia. And I believe that's everything. So any questions, shoot me a message and we'll go from there.